Okay, good evening, welcome everyone. Want to take a minute to thank everybody for a great last meeting. Before we start, let's go around and do some introductions. We do have some new faces around the table. Mr. Spalding, would you like to start?
Chris Spalding, Charlestown.
Bryn Kane, Charlestown.
Albert St. Pierre, Charlestown.
Linda Stewart, Charlestown.
Dave Edkins, Walpole. Steve Brown, Walpole.
Kevin Keith, Langdon.
Alyssa Bascom, Charlestown.
Judy Epstein, Walpole.
Tina Tidd, Walpole.
Chris Young, SEO.
Bob Kniff, Langdon.
Garrett Neal, Charlestown.
And Joel McCarty from Halstead.
Thank you, everybody. I call this meeting to order at 5:34 on August 17th. Want to initially start with approval of minutes from our August 3rd, 2026 meeting. Any comments?
Aside from there's no K in Ackworth, no.
There is no K on Ackworth. Good note, thank you. Anybody else?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second?
Seconded.
Did you get that?
Yep. It took me a second to remember that I had to write that down. I got it. Who seconded it? I'm sorry.
David.
Dave,
Perfect. Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
I'll abstain as I was not on the committee. I'm just saying.
I'll abstain, I wasn't here.
Three,
I'll abstain too.
4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay.
Just one note, Alyssa Bascom is going to be taking over Sarah Vogel as we move forward. And that was
Just decided between the two of us at this point. Also want to clarify that there are 3 school board members here on this committee that I'm bringing this back and having a relationship between the school board and directly with this committee.
with that. I want to get into one other logistical piece. There is a meeting in Walpole tonight. So what I would like, if we move through things fast enough, I would like to make a recommendation to this board to end by 6:30, 6:35 for people to be able to make it into Walpole for that event, for that meeting. Any objections? Okay, so we will.
They're leaving early.
So if you remember the last time we met, we really spent some time having a very in-depth conversation regarding not only the roles of this committee, but really what our task is as we move forward. We left with some homework, which is what I would like to take a few minutes to start with. The goal was to get into a number of different pieces regarding a SWOT analysis and looking at the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. The reason I'm bringing this up now is because I want you to take some time as we go over our meeting schedule and our meeting norms to be able to write some of the information down on sticky notes. So as we're going to try to multitask. And the goal is, once you're done, to be able to put it up on one of those 4 categories to be able to start our discussion. We are going to get into our meeting schedule and our meeting norms at the same time. And I will provide us probably 10 minutes to be able to really focus on that after. But I know some people have that ability to multitask. So I will pass out some stickies, some markers, and the goal is to put one strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat on each of the stickies, not a list of a number of them. So each sticky would mean something different. Sense. Okay. One, you can have multiple, the goal is to be able to, if you have 5 strengths, write down 5 separate stickies. Does that make sense?
One
If you-
idea first.
One idea per sticky.
Sorry.
Strengths first. No. Scissors. I think I must have taken your pencil. Was that me? I think I must have taken your pencil.
That's okay. Does anybody need a pencil or a pen? Maybe some last student as a, famous advantage. No? Yeah, none of them just strengths. All of them. Oh. Something. So we'll have more time as we continue. So I want to get back to our new business and review real quick. When you look at our schedule moving forward, our next meeting is actually going to be on Labor Day, which will not work. Is there any opposition of moving it to that Tuesday instead of that Monday?
What day?
Anybody? Seeing no concern, what I'd like to propose is moving our September 7th meeting to September 8th, 5:30 at the library. So we'll make that as a note. The other thing that I wouldn't mind discussing tonight, it seems like we have the majority of people that are going to be on this committee, which is much appreciated. During my last email, we did discuss that we'd be creating a board chair. I didn't know if we wanted to move that to tonight. We are missing one person, but it is a pretty good representation of this committee. I don't know if that is something that we want to have the discussion tonight or if we want to expose it in the September meeting.
I think since you proposed to next week, we should just wait till next week because the person had any interest in being chair, then they wouldn't be here to express that.
Okay, so give some thought. I view my role as facilitator. The chair of this committee would be, we'd go hand in hand to try to work out the agenda and get things done ahead of time. But there needs to be a lot of discussion and communication in regards to how this committee is going to move forward, timelines. And if you are so interested in being chair, please consider, and we'll be doing that on our September 8th there. So
Here it is.
Oh, I'm not volunteering for chair, but if we're gonna pick one and we're only short one member, I'd like to offer a counter perspective to Kevin's and suggest we just hash it out right now. I mean, if nobody volunteers, then that's the same thing too, but if we're only short one person.
I'm inclined to agree. We are all, I think, looking to get really ready and running, so.
Who's missing?
Steve
Steve
Delesio,
Gillespie.
who I don't believe would be.
No, he's not.
Yes, no.
He's not. Okay. And I'm not. Let's do it tonight.
So any objections? Is there anybody that would like to nominate somebody for board chair? Anybody that volunteers to be board chair? How about that?
I'd like to put a motion before the committee. Being an advisory committee to the school board, I'd like to make a motion that one of the 3 school board members chairs the committee because it's a school board committee.
And those 3 are.
Steve, Chris, and myself.
I second that motion. So Sarah's not.
I absolutely have my plate full.
That was my first question. Thinking you was board chair of the school board makes sense, but.
You know,
That's new.
I'd like to say I could figure out how to do it, but I just. Chris?
I'm hoping the facilities committee comes alive, then I'd really be booked. What are you doing?
Looking at me.
Yeah,
who's missing is what I'm
What
asking.
am I doing?
yeah, I mean,
The
you
school
have,
board, also Walpole Town Treasurer. Which keeps me pretty busy. Guess it depends on what we're talking about in terms of a chair, what you're looking for, responsibilities, and is it more ceremonial, if you will, or is it going to be involved?
It would involve setting the agenda, making sure that the individual committees, so I imagine we're all going to separate into individual committees, that they all have an opportunity to report back, that collaboration happens, that the minutes go out, and we're going to be working with Bryn or Misty. She's very good at support. But it's making sure the meeting gets run and that people are talking to each other in such a way that we move this forward. So if you're willing to do so. If not, I will figure it out.
My term is up in March. And I haven't even made a decision as to whether or not I'll run again, so that's a factor. Although I guess I could remain on this committee.
You absolutely could, because you and I are in the same boat.
Yeah, that's right, we're in the same boat. Can I think about it until next meeting? But we gotta do this now.
Yes.
I don't want you to play.
Mr. Spalding?
I'm not necessarily volunteering. I mean, it's a big undertaking, I think, but I do have a consideration that there is a board member or there is a past board member that sits here that I think could do the job if he was willing to do it. So it would be outside of your scope. I don't know how we go about voting, and putting somebody else, nominating somebody else.
What are you saying?
I would like to see, I wouldn't mind him doing it. Yeah, I think Kevin provided.
Well, if that's your angle, I mean, I made a motion and Brent seconded, the committee didn't even vote on it.
That's what I'm saying.
So it could get voted down and reconsidered.
Right.
I'm only here so I'm only in town until May of next year. So, we need to be done by then.
Fine, I'll take it.
Thank you, Chris.
You'll chair it.
So, Mr. Spalding is going to be the chair?
You can start tonight.
Wait, we still need to vote, but the motion on the floor right now and seconded is the school board rep. Mr. Spalding meets that requirement. Any objections? All in favor?
Well, is the motion on the floor to have one of the school board members? So we're not voting, we're voting on that motion, not first really who's going to take it.
Motion then vote,
Motion then vote.
or vote on the motion and then vote on the vote.
Right.
You're right. So we'll vote on the motion, which is to have the school board member chair the committee. All in favor? Any objections? Anybody abstain?
I only voted no because I don't believe it has to be a school board member, but I understand the sentiment.
So motion passes. Out of the 3 people here, we'll do a volunteer first. And if not, we will make some recommendations, but Mr. Spalding did put it on the floor that he's willing to chair it. Would anybody like to make a motion?
And I'll make Chris Ball the chair of the committee.
Seconded. And in his absence, I'll be have to back him up.
Chair and vice chair.
You can do that too.
No, he said he was vice chair.
Okay,
Oh, that said it.
motion on the table, Mr. Spalding, being chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections?
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chris.
Mr. Spalding. We appreciate it. Do you want to run the next? I wanted to talk about norms. I think that's important. There's going to be a lot of discussion around this table, especially as we get into subgroups. What is the expectation? How do we handle ourselves in a meeting? Because there are going to be a lot of discussion points that are going to be looked at several different ways. And it is important to be incredibly respectful to all the towns, or the committee, and to the public. And having some meeting norms that we can all agree to, I think is important in kind of helping guide our discussions. So, anybody have any norms? I have some ideas, but I don't mind hearing from others to begin.
Last time we met, we were talking about how owls can help, but there aren't enough of them, I think, for each committee. Where are they? Or each subcommittee.
Right.
So the norms would be someone within the subcommittee within the lead and take notes and report out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So any norms? Yeah.
I would just like to express that I find it very important to be recognized by the chair so that we have one person speaking at a time and that the meeting flows easily.
Since these meetings are going to be streamed, I think it's important that the person speaking should say their name before they speak, so that the audience watching can know who's talking, because having watched some of these, sometimes the mouth is moving, but you can't tell what, who it is or what they're saying.
There will be place placards with your name on them. Misty will have them for the next meeting with people watching.
Okay.
It'll make that easier too.
I think we're tackling a huge task here. And I think it's going to be important that we all keep an open mind and think outside of the box and be open to that.
Anybody else?
Chris. Joel McCarty, over our way, when we get in a pickle with contentious topics, which I can pretty much foresee here, we encourage people to never make fun of another person's idea or ridicule their presentation. And we also expect ideas to stand and fall on their own merit rather than the emotional content of the delivery or the wide community respect in which the speaker is held, or disrespect, I suppose. That's it. That's why we haven't killed each other in Alstead Select Board meetings.
Very good point. Very good point.
Imagine your mother is at the meeting.
Oh. Anything else? No, silence is hard. I think that is a good start. I will make up a list based off what was discussed for our next meeting. We'll vote on them and continue to have discussions if anything needs to change. But Joe's point is well taken. I think there's a lot when it comes to, there are going to be a lot of ideas, and we need to be very good at respecting everybody's ideas and what's on the table, because there are going to be some challenging discussions as we move forward. So wanted to spend about 10 minutes, if it's okay with the chair, to finish up our SWOT analysis. And then we will kind of move into our next step of kind of looking at, so when you're done with your stickies, you can put them up with on. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend, ultimately start breaking into groups and looking specifically at each of these areas and seeing the common threads that are kind of throughout. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are some of the opportunities and what are the threats? So I will work on that as in about 10 minutes. Maybe we can start getting into some groups. If you have some groups in mind, I want to kind of be diverse too. So that is an important part. If we can have some diversity across the group, so we have representation from each town, I think that's important. But the goal is to be maybe in 4 groups is kind of how I see things. Okay, let's finish things up and then we'll move that. Yes.
What, you're a supervisor with the checklist? September 8th is New Hampshire primary day.
All day.
Yeah,
That is not going to work.
but that or
Well, it doesn't work for me, but I don't know.
Also for me.
Yeah, I think there's. Thank you for bringing that up. We will.
How about the Wednesday?
Let's talk about it once, maybe right before we. Talk. I didn't even see.
So I mean, like, well, about that is already.
I don't know, I usually fight with the other problem, reading. Things. Today, Hampshire.
That's the part you're wrong, yeah. This is red, I can't see it without glasses. Yeah, you know, I'm saying it's, I'm gonna get it red.
We'll talk about more.
Yeah. I see.
If you think about it, I was gonna say, can we take? Take a fun cake. Oh, you know, they're staying all that.
So we're gonna actually start discussions with this one.
You see what I said?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have you pick ones to prepare. I was like, hey, there's a link. I think so. Oh, you're not in. I would in. There's and it's really fast. He's one of the your process. And that's so.
You still. You did? Well, my last one that's at the high school. Not her game. That's
That's fine.
Most people put on like.
Fuller lines, but I just want you to put
You definitely need to shake on that.
It's one thing if you're in Mountain.
Yeah, no, I retired.
It's hard.
So last year. No, you're not.
Yeah, you know, or we.
The phone.
I'm all of that.
Older guys out there. Really shouldn't be repping that.
There is some.
I don't want to be one of them.
So it's like, how do we?
Starter homes.
I don't know how they can.
Really can't understand. We have from the street, some massage.
So if we want to get into groups of maybe four,
He was.
I think if I do my math, we'd have a couple groups of five. Five.
In the heat.
Yeah.
I mean, they had one game, he went down Saturday,
Still divided.
playing behind the bench.
Oh, geez.
I'd say that he's
There's 16.
gotta be over 70.
Or seven.
Yeah,
So we need all that stuff.
That's right now. But no, there's one guy that's over 80. This guy might have been dead. Always shows up hottest day of the year and show up wearing two sweaters. Come on over, join us. Oh, we just gotta sucker one person.
Or do they want
We were also trying to sucker.
Oh, I can move really dark. If I come over here, over there. How's that?
You wanna go?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Just go.
Here's 4.
Do it.
So.
Definitely. I don't think.
I can move over here.
1, 2, 3, 4. You got to do that one.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, so that it's like a blend.
More balanced.
Yes.
You wanna go?
Right.
Seventies and eighties and.
Patty, you want that over?
Yeah.
That has.
What was it? Taking it to group to the
Yes.
beach.
Pretty.
No, maybe not.
People 68 years.
Are we moving?
Yeah, I just want to switch over. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
You were.
Yeah, that's been a.
Yeah.
You want to go, why don't we go down that way?
You want me to go over there then?
1, 4, 2,
We're also like different next thing.
4. This can work. And then 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Well, they're not gonna move out.
Albert, come in and sit like you.
First time seeing this.
You got 3. Well,
3 or 4.
Steve, the last.
3 Walpole and Charlton.
We're trying.
Well, I guess you know what they're gonna have in balance.
Okay, so what the object, what we're going to do is take a few minutes. I'm going to give you one sheet and you're going to look at specifically for some trends within that. Either strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, or threats.
Same thing.
Any group want one specific?
What do you guys want?
If not, I'll just pass them out.
I would just pass them on.
Does it matter how many girls?
You guys, yeah, strengths.
Chris, does it matter how many people from the same town are in now?
No, I don't. It's the.
We should be above that by.
I know.
It's aspirating.
We got the.
So you're not doing any regular.
There's a couple of.
Yeah.
I can't keep it. Just reading articles.
Hey.
Okay, so we got the
Opportunity.
You want me to read them?
Judy, I'm just gonna slide.
Sure, we got some symbols. Okay. So.
We can put that as.
Formula, that's it. We method. Area.
This one is financial
We may
stability.
not feel like we have.
So trying to think about consolidation.
I'm gonna put.
6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Financial, we shouldn't be able to pay for that.
Failing together does not.
Oh. Never had.
The building, is that-
They went all what I know.
I just was born in the old.
Yeah, yeah.
Transportation.
Really big.
Kind of like when.
Efficiency to fill buckets.
So merge up the land and effort into one market area, that's a.
Ready?
The
Yes.
DOE.
I mean, that's really not. There's something right here.
It is.
Yeah.
What does that say? Merge up buildings in an effort. Leave by this.
Aspirational. Get somewhere high.
That was a good thing. We're just trying to get it on balance.
Actually. I put unknown and one's legislature, one is the personnel.
So yeah, different count.
No.
Again.
Yeah.
We're gonna be voting.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
If you had a big change in.
So that one's like.
You can see this
Right now, every town.
All right, let's just go with it.
Every time.
New Hampshire. Bad.
Right.
So I think
The only
that is.
qualification.
Okay, so then we're not saying.
And this is.
So remember, you're trying to put the exact same.
We have state stabilization.
Versus not using.
Yeah.
Kind of go with it.
Okay.
So, yeah, finance.
No,
That's an opportunity.
Talking to park.
Very good. Very good.
This means they're not.
Time to think about employment.
Citizens. Good public.
Okay, let's leave it there. No, it's not. So here. So, distinguishing between shared and subsidized. So that's the ability to pay.
Is not
This be created by enrollment.
It's essentially offering parental choice. I don't know what that means.
That's pretty broad.
Does that mean?
We knew that happened.
Okay, so.
Every year.
That's too big for us.
Thing.
It's a separate.
700 kids in high school.
There's 300.
Property taxes.
It's having to do with what's going on.
To dismantle.
Created by this.
I just did all of it.
Yeah.
This is.
So then we have
Tuition
non-municipal
agreements with
bus
other
rides, and then they're registered for us.
I actually, I
guess I would.
Bring it in.
That's the stronger collaboration between the town.
That's actually.
I think it's. You know, they're moving.
But I also.
About recent that could be understood.
Then let's break this one down. Because they deserve their.
Halsted
I have
has yet to
that. I have
repeat the
that.
population that it had the day the Civil War.
I'm trying to read it where it says, this is the offer separate budget.
The Bourbon Street gangs that I grew up with. You know,
That's state-based.
She did.
I think
Where would
that's
you put that?
Well, it's either state-based or that you create a K-3 position.
So there may be something.
Yeah, so so is that, are we talking about? something?
Yeah.
I thought we were.
Yeah.
You have to vote it off.
Local control is K through eight.
And some people, I know I can.
Okay, opportunity to start.
Both
I'm-
academic, economies of scale, both
But
academic.
then again, is that an opportunity?
I gotta work there.
As a senior, an opportunity to just.
Better together.
I thought they were saying, what's the operative? That was being together as a district.
Okay, here's one.
Same.
Restructure and operation management.
Small town feel.
That's kind of.
What else is there?
We got good pluses.
Stronger collaboration between the towns.
It's the handle.
One big pot.
Bring it over
For like the front
on a
house.
bigger scale. Any info?
Or at least.
Yeah, retry it.
We should,
Okay.
with other towns.
Relationship and local-
Better together file.
Another for economy of scale.
Come up with these.
Is that?
I think it does go like this.
Regional plan, which, what's more at the.
ELOs and things like extended learning opportunities going into community.
Okay, so that's all I'm thinking. Yeah.
Today.
I mean, this would-
Streamlined all
Okay,
of them.
okay. So the in and out. Does that mean?
It's mine.
Closing more buildings and realigning attendance areas.
Doesn't need the same
Basically,
things as.
throw that.
Exactly.
Walpole, which was.
The high school.
Well, it's for.
Encourage to send the students to other.
It's not really culture, but it does create culture.
Yeah, maybe right. I just say that.
Moving more grades to the high school.
That means.
I have no idea. Well, that would be consolidated.
I think you're right, but I'm not talking about culture.
Well, it depends on where
Private country. Well, I mean, I
Talk about. Like.
Oh, that's eighth grade.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything.
Okay, so.
But yeah, they have space about.
Support with.
And it's open up space. This would be, would we have.
Transparency and accountability.
So you put four.
Shared services, those are all deal with the time.
Isn't it already?
And best together.
Always.
Don't understand.
But when it comes.
Report out, right?
Okay, so we have
I didn't
two
write
right now
it.
that are strong collaboration.
You need.
Yeah.
You're right. So
I think that's right. I think it's absolutely. If you're not monitoring budget, when the
rural nature of distance.
Difficult to change, that would be the space.
I don't know.
So as people, as you get it into different categories within each area, the goal is to be able to summarize what.
Do you want us to write our themes right on the?
That would be the reason I gave paper and I saw markers. Is so
Yeah.
that you can add it. Okay, right.
Can't write.
I'm office is colored in these things.
So we have strong collaboration too.
I know.
Between the funds.
But
And.
First and foremost, everybody was saying.
So why don't we, so we're. You're gonna end up.
which align with
Financial.
administration.
Okay, yeah.
Well, this is most comments is.
Okay, so.
Go to table. Opportunity, base unit. This is saying they want to split into K through 8. We're done. Can't this.
And better together.
When Dave and I were walking in, listen and see where this thing is going. See that.
If you can try, the town strongly wants to.
So if you write on paper, that's.
I am doing password. We want to know to. Then this it's not 18. Other than. That says whole.
So there's kind of.
So one, yeah, I would say. We're not looking for one, we're starting. I was gonna ask.
So not everybody's involved with that. There's stuff like.
You definitely do.
Okay. The goal is to be able to come up with consensus within the group of, okay, what are your targets?
Under their methods, but then
We had
there's
some
also.
outliers that kind of are so far out there that they may keep separate, but what are your 3 to 5
Some percentages.
areas that you?
So scale.
How big
3 to 5, 6, I don't know, everybody would have a number, some have a lot of groups and some have 3 or 4.
So-
So it's just- and then we just write them on this paper, and then stick everything back on.
Community.
Yeah, so I would say the number one thing is to.
Wasn't it?
That's the number one.
These
not necessarily.
fall into.
Think of restructuring.
So then the article.
Restructure.
Once that are together and just.
Oh, so you don't-
Seven or 8.
Just put restructure.
Restructure, number
Yeah,
one.
that's mentioned something.
Right, right.
The budget definitely.
I don't know.
So like it could be,
Yeah.
More restructure.
Call a lot.
Restructure.
Just correct something else.
So I get 2 questions.
Okay, so and then once we put them in.
And being responsible for that, but then.
There was a thinking in engineering.
But I don't necessarily.
Same operation of co-op high school.
Need to change our.
I don't know.
Superintendent for each paperweight and all.
So I think that's very specific, so. So we good with that.
Like like a billing thing.
It might need.
So.
I honestly don't know.
You want to talk about amending?
Don't understand the nuances of the
So I
vocabulary.
think that's important.
I hope that, I mean, I'm not suggesting that
Honestly,
Basically, I have that right now.
finger in the eye,
That's what
but
I've been
But you put the
amending.
I think co-op means something
They have
different
no,
than,
they
Say
say.
that.
and it may just be.
Education.
So they can't.
We have.
Well,
Well, but
So the question I was asking.
They've been amended. Necessarily been overhaul.
Somebody puts a listener and it gets coded and then automatically.
That's what they do.
And I think everybody.
So this is pretty much dealt with.
But the problem is,
Always open co-op going forward, then we.
What was that one?
well, you have different businesses. We've had like 5 different business administrators in the last 10 years. So they can take an invoice and put it in the wrong method.
They might not have to do that, just like the
They
right.
might have good. Steve has to make those methods. So again, since he left, our all the invoices going to share, but they were all.
There is an
Here's that disparity word is there a lot.
So whenever there's
We structure the cooperative.
we're in a.
Slash.
Funds and
Yeah,
research.
it's funds and research.
Leaves a lot of room for. I agree. Short-hand assessment.
I've been on it twice, I know.
There's a lot of.
So how do you want?
Like you said,
Goes on to end of-
Space utilization, consolidation of building.
So we want to put this year, the state, property tax.
Bigger than. One man would go.
When it kind of came up.
And that's not what you forced it all.
State. But it's. They did unfunded.
Crazy, that was what
And
Consolidation.
Yeah.
Space.
Back all those years ago when the Alsted Select Boards, the school district, that
Which that would even.
was very clear.
Moving.
That the voters wanted to do it this way, so we're doing it also.
So just time wise, would about 6 or 7 minutes and a 5-minute report out at the end work for people?
Yeah.
Is what.
So there will be,
To all pull along.
well, it's only 20 minutes. Yeah.
Cutting it a little.
And they go different. This one is hard to
So
categorize really, like how do we say
the last time.
the intake? Like, that's really what it's about. It's
Basically.
Very simplified.
What are the different?
I
I think it's.
gave my father.
Look at the apportionment.
Only have to back.
If what's really bad in the state is to.
He's just felt like he didn't.
I think the ill will.
Yes. Yeah, I mean. We can't. It's perfect.
The informant. Two.
I was part of that original committee that
So.
proposed that.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it's not time. What, I mean, I'm just trying to get properly on. Others.
Others.
I think it was the beginning of the.
This small
It was the
lot size.
the first revision of
Yeah.
Well, there's accounts, like.
and it was contentious.
That's part of
It didn't
it.
behave as well as this was behave. And superintendent maybe provide solid leadership and, so you're gonna have, right, you got to play.
That's not elected code, that's not part of the code.
Probably why.
It's just, well, the fact that we have two remaining towns. But I think the top, but right, so it's not. It's a whole separation.
People I'm interested in reaching.
I think a weakness is simply, I think it's as simple as saying defining population.
Bill.
As
you know, it doesn't matter what business it
There's nothing we can do about it, but it's still.
You think it's 100,000 tons of sand to somebody and all of a sudden they stop. He wouldn't need that. Now he done.
These are just, size of the district is a weakness, and we might not be able to do anything about it, but it is a weakness.
Pretty clutch.
I count the multi-grade.
Finding enrollment has.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Well, I didn't know anybody. I went for a bunch of them. I did movie on the.
I could decline enrollment, yes, it is. Financial, you know, we just kind of sit there and go, it's happening. Nothing's
That'll be the discussion between culture and other things, like we haven't acted on it because of our which is. Just, I was area.
Because I feel like that could be.
One of my threats was confusion.
Oh, gosh, I'm not even sure how to have so.
I think we have an obligation to
Well,
the recommendation for the formula to be understood by a mere mortal.
That's no.
Years ago, sixth grade student. So that's the big goal and the comprehension goal. So the parents can't comprehend.
What is their?
Okay, about 3 more minutes. When you are done, you can put it back up. And put your,
The Smithsonian. I'm not touching that. But
I'm just.
I would
we're gonna
love
put them over there.
keep this particular conversation.
Anyway, and I will document it.
When he gets in the undergrad, you can borrow
You got how the documents are out there.
If he wants
it. Kind of like get it all.
Are you gonna take these back to Misty to add to the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put it back up.
Sometimes I didn't write Steve Rome's a big fat week. No, but it might be good.
You want to I do want to.
That's very well.
Well,
Not alone.
last group that really looked at.
You're not.
Nobody, I mean, nobody.
And within the last minute, figure out which of your group members would like to do a quick report out of about a minute of what was discussed.
Just what you say.
That is the local version of saying that
Tina, I know.
we should wait for the section. It's
You can do it if you want.
only that little bit. The only thing we're responsible. It's a libertarian canard of how far your responsibility and your community.
Your standards.
Not necessarily, the libertarians predate. They are. Sure, that's not the same. It came from the same church.
Yeah.
Again, it's not 100% horrible or 100%
Sure.
desirable.
Okay,
And if
we'll
we can't
start.
pick what we want.
Who would like to report out from strengths? Any common themes?
The
Chair.
The chair will.
So the footstool.
The common theme amongst our group really is all of those tickets, wonderful tickets. We really appreciate everybody's there and their fine penmanship. That we are really better together. There's an economies of scale because of our communities. And ultimately, that's the last word, really, community. My last little one that didn't make a footnote was, we have a budget committee. But really, those are the things that better together, better ultimately is what all of those tickets really fell right into one basket.
Okay, thank you. Next group.
The weaknesses. So the biggest one that we had was about articles of agreement. Mostly about a lot about how the methods are, they're hard to understand, how they're hard to put into place. A little bit about how budget creation happens and who gets into that budget creation. And then they're just outdated. They were 1964 was the first ish, about 60 years old for the first version. So kind of disparity of funds and resources across our communities, but inside of that, talking about how state mandated and unfunded initiatives we have to pay for, and how that affects property taxes. Just in general, citizen ill will. There's a lot of I was on the board for 4 years, and you hear a lot of people don't trust the board, don't trust the administration. Different cultures in town, so just we kind of come from different places. We have different needs. Declining enrollments, and then the size of the district in terms of just the area. We are a big district in county. How far away backward it is to get to Lake Warren, how far away backward it is to get to Crescent Lake. So it's just a very big district.
Okay, thank you. Opportunities?
The majority of our tickets were on restructuring the cooperative in some way, whether that be the tickets at K through 8 or some other form of restructuring, but looking at restructuring the cooperative, that was the majority of the tickets that we had. Consolidation of the buildings and space utilization. So again, these two kind of go hand in hand. We have restructured, we talked about a little bit, we have restructured the buildings, consolidation of the buildings, but to go any further than that, you'd have to have a change in what the towns say of who's going to have a building. They also was a couple that said using the high school for like 7 and 8, changing up the grade. Review the apportionment formula, which goes over to weaknesses, the same thing. Apportionment formula is confusing to a lot of people. And then one of our biggest problems is that we've had a big decline in student population over the last certainly 10 years, and we could look to recruit some other towns into the district. Leominster, Goshen, Unity, Marlow, Gilsum. There's opportunities around us that maybe they'd come in and would build the numbers back up, which would lower the costs.
Thank you.
Okay, and finally, threats, the one that popped up the most time in terms of tickets was legislative decisions made at the state level, which of course that's what they made, but we do have to react to those. Potential for taxpayer revolt. We already saw this budget and this teacher contract failed, which is not something we've been seeing historically here. So that's a little worrisome. Continued infighting among towns, town residents feeling that they are subsidizing other towns. That's a recurring theme. Declining student populations, which is obviously a threat. And now towns withdrawing because they changed the law again. Now you need 60% of the town in question. That's it. There's no check-in by the other 4 towns. So that's another potential threat. And then there were a few outliers. We take them on the bottom, but they were, there wasn't 2 of them even. So.
Okay, thank you. So, resonate with anybody that kind of stood out as kind of the most, you were to choose 3 that is at the top one throughout all of it? Is there recurring themes that may change? Are there any other that we may be missing? So that's kind of our homework as we move forward. We're doing an incredibly good job of keeping an open mind. I think when you look at what is being presented, we're really doing that, which is important. As we move forward, continue to have discussions. I would like to get into some breakouts. So how I view things as we move forward is some of these breakout groups happening to be able to get work done. And then being able to come back together and report out so that we can have capture what is happening in these meetings. And I think that's going to be the bulk of our work as we continue to move forward. So with that, I did say we're going to leave a little early today. It was pointed out that the 8th, the 9th is
The 8th, it's a primary election.
Is there any objection to either moving it again? Would Wednesday work?
I think we're gonna start conflicting with a lot of other meetings.
Okay, so like,
Yeah, but at some point. Yeah, no, that one's it, I think.
how many people would not be able to attend if we just kept it on the Tuesday? You object to us continuing or?
Here at Budget Committee would be the 2nd.
Tuesday's voting day, so a lot of people are counting and looking at the polls.
Right, so budget committee isn't that.
It's the 2nd.
I'm up for either. I'm just closing the question right now. We could do it Wednesday or we could do a smaller group.
I think Wednesday's a good idea.
Okay, Wednesday,
That's the 9th.
Wednesday the 9th, September 9th. And just so people know, we are going to try to use the library classroom instead of this area. It's going to be a little bit more condensed, but it'll make life easier when we have the owls because it won't echo as much. So
Where is
the light, that room is right behind you on the right hand side. It's not open right now, but it's a large classroom. Okay. Chair.
So move.
All those in favor?
See ya.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was good.